Well, everyone, it's a Friday morning, so if you can hear the cars going past, I'm on my drive, and I'm just about to get on the road to head to Leicester. So it's about a 2-hour drive, because today I am going to do some modelling for Sarah of My Handmade Wardrobe for her pattern company. How exciting! I have got no idea what today will entail. I've never done anything like this before in my life. So come with me today as I find out what on earth this is like. Well, everybody, what a day it was last Friday. Now, I kept it under wraps because I just wanted to see how it would go, and also I was a little bit nervous whether it would really happen or not. So I don't know if you ever find that sometimes, but if you say about something, then there's almost that fear that it might not actually happen. So I think I need to start by telling you a little bit of a story. So back about just under 10 years ago, when I was sort of 37, 38, and thinking about the fact that 40 was coming my way, I hit a bit of a point where I felt a bit lost. I was struggling with what clothes I wanted to wear. I was struggling with hitting that number. Now, we can all say it's just a number, but sometimes a number can signify things. And for a person who doesn't have any of my own biological children, 40 felt like quite a significant number in terms of, if you're going to do this, things are moving away from being possible. I know medical science and all those things, but please remember this is about my emotional journey, not about the logical. And we know if we make things logical, our emotions feel sometimes almost senseless. But that's how I felt. I felt quite lonely. I was loving my job, but I felt a bit meh in my style. I had sort of long straight hair down to about here that I hadn't been to the hairdressers for ages and wasn't bothered about going to the hairdressers for ages. And I just sort of reached this point where I just realised I felt actually really quite lost. There was no one thing at the time that I could put my finger on. And when I look back, it's so much easier with hindsight, isn't it, to feel differently about that. However, what I do know is it hit me hard knowing I was coming out of my 30s. I at one point, I think I was about 38, 39, went to the hairdressers, and I just basically booked a random appointment with whoever was available, and she now still cuts my hair to this day. And I asked her to just help me do something with my hair, and this is what ended up happening. It was never planned, and together she and I over the years have shaped it. It's been different colours, but it feels like me. And actually my haircut was a really big part of feeling better about myself. That was a big part of me starting to recognise that I needed to feel more like me. And obviously I then have done lots of other things along the way. But I was offered an opportunity at the beginning of 2024, which was to model for My Handmade Wardrobe. Now, the first opportunity came with the invite to go on the catwalk. Never done that before in my life, and was asked to sew an item to go on there. So my brain was focused on the sewing rather than the catwalking to start with, and then suddenly the catwalk bit sort of registered at the last minute. But I am very much a believer in say yes unless there's a real reason to say no, and that real reason might be you've got too much on and you can't commit. But if it's just about being fearful, that's probably not the reason to say no. And then she messaged me a couple of months ago and said, I'm doing my next photo shoot for some of my new patterns and my new course that's coming out. Would you like to come? So of course I said yes. Again, I didn't think about the practicalities. I just said yes and immediately booked the day off work. And it wasn't until it drew quite close that I realised I would need to shave my legs and also make sure my hair was the way I want it to be, because it isn't always. Sometimes it's like close to haircut time and it's looking a bit wild or whatever. And then I suddenly realised that she'd sent like a big long list of what to pack, and then my mind sort of started getting into that. I need to feel ready, I need to feel organised. But because I focused on the practicalities, I hadn't actually thought about what will it be like. And that's good in a way, because it stopped me from overthinking and getting nervous and changing my mind. I have never been asked to be part of anything like this ever before in my life. So I have reached the age of 37. I haven't ever been on a catwalk, modelled. I'll tell you as well, I've never been randomly asked out in a bar or bought a drink. So just in case you think I might be one of these people that these things happen to, no, they don't. And I just thought I have to say yes, because life is giving me some opportunities that often we think come when we're young. Okay, I'm here in good time. I've had to park in a little car park because I'm having car park stress, but I've got time to go and visit a shop. That's what I'm going to do first. And I was in Leicester, so of course I had to visit Roy's. I was pretty restrained. Roy has some lovely fabric. I had a good look at all the different kinds, and I went for this jersey. I really like the fact that that was they're waves, they're not perfect straight lines. So that's going to be an incoming top. And I got a metre. And then a lovely lilac double gauze. Now I wanted a metre, there was a little bit extra, so Roy gave it to me for a metre. Super soft, nice quality double gauze. Wondering about trousers actually. I was going to do top, I'm thinking trousers now. Trousers with that as the top, liking that. And some moon thread, some lilac moon thread. So I think that's pretty restrained for me. But when you're on a trip, you've got to find a fabric shop. So let's talk about what the day was like. So I made sure I packed all the things that she said, which also included persuading the person I live with to have to go into the loft, or get the loft ladder down for me, because it's a bit of a dodgy ladder, to get a beach bag out at 9 o'clock at night, because I realised that's the thing I had forgotten. Sorting through my shoes, packing a lot, whittling it down, choosing all my lovely jewellery, because wanted bright jewellery, well, you know me. And later on in the vlog I'll show you actually what I packed, and packing my makeup and all of those sorts of things. And because it was and because it was a 2-hour drive to get to Leicester, I needed to leave in plenty of time, and so I didn't really have time to think too much about what it was going to be like. So let's talk about what it was like. There was 3 of us. None of us were professional models. We were all ladies over the halfway mark, I think. Sarah had a wide selection of clothes that she'd sewn, and some of them she fitted to us as we were putting them on. Some of us, we tried different ones on. There was a little place to get changed, but do you know what? I had my big girl M&S knickers on, the hold in your tummy ones. I'm not going to pretend I didn't, because I did, because I wanted to feel my best self, and that just that little bit that just brings in that menopause tummy, I needed that. I also took the full body one, didn't need it, but I did take it. So because I had my big knickers on, and most of the times I was just changing a top or bottom, I wasn't too worried. We tried some things on, and then Sarah took up things. We just bigged each other up as well. And this is something I know I've talked about before, which is there's plenty of room for all of us in the boat. We have to stop feeling like we're in competition. We're not. We can all do all of these things. There's enough room and enough capacity. So let's speak positively about others when we're talking about things and opportunities, and recommend other people. And I try really hard to do that whenever I can. So if I know someone that would like to do something and someone asks me, I will say. It's the same with my socials. I tell other people about other ones as well. So that's how the day was. We cheered each other on, we encouraged each other, because none of us were professional models. It was a bit nerve-wracking to start with, and being encouraged to loosen up and all of that sort of thing. And I found it particularly hard because I'm used to taking my own photos, and I can see myself because I use the front facing camera, well, the camera that's on the side with the screen, I don't know which that's called. So I can always see myself, and then I take the photos and check them. Having someone else taking them where I can't see how they're looking is really quite different for me. But what I did remember partway through is I do know my own body. And by that, what I mean is I've been on a journey since I started Instagram of working out what looks right for me and what angles look right for me. And there's been many poses and many photo shoots that have never been shared. But for example, I know if I put my thigh, my leg on top, on the side you can see it, so let's say that's this thigh here. If I do it like that, that's a big expanse of leg that the camera sees. But if I cross my legs the other way, it looks like that. And at one point I was asked, can you do your legs like this? And I said, I can, and I'll do it, but I think it's quite a big expanse of leg. And actually the photographer said, oh, I wouldn't have thought of that, and actually agreed with me that crossing the other way. So what I would say is, your body, and push yourself, listen, take advice, because we were told to arch back way further than felt comfortable, because these people have done it before. Sarah's done it before, the photographer's done it before. But it is okay to say, I'm not sure this is going to be the best for me. There was another occasion where I was put on a dress, and the dress was cut where I wouldn't cut a dress on my leg. Now that doesn't mean I shouldn't take a risk and try it, because I did. But what I did say was, I don't think this is the best cut for my calves. So can we try angling my leg differently? And we agreed to try that. So one of the things I wore was to show an ill-fitting thing. So that was quite fun as well. And I was amazed how many times you have to do it, keep moving and keep posing for them to get the shot. My brain just really struggles with that sort of thing, because I'm like, 5 minutes, 3 outfits, bosh, 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 photos done. So here we go. If you want to know what it's like to do a day of modelling, this is what I've done. Two ladies were gorgeous. The photographer, he was a lovely person too. Sarah knows him really well, and I actually met him before at the Sewing for Pleasure. And what I would say is, if this is something that you ever get the opportunity either to offer to do or hear about and think about, is don't say to yourself, I'm too old, or what will people think? Because if someone has asked you to do it, they've already thought about the fact that you're what they're looking for, or you fit with what they're looking for. And I love that Sarah has chosen a wide range of people for her photographs, because that's more representative of the real sewing community. And I had a moment where I was worrying about the fact that my waist is not the waist it used to be, and I thought, well, hang on a minute, I need to do this, because Sarah wouldn't have asked me if she didn't know, because she's seen me. And other people need to see people modelling patterns with not the perfect waist. Now you might be like, what are you talking about? But this is how we all feel about ourselves, isn't it? For too long, media has been airbrushed perfect standard that we shouldn't want to try and meet. Now that didn't mean I didn't put my best version forwards. As I say, I have my M&S knickers on, but even a pair of M&S knickers can only do so much. Your inner voice might try to tell you that you can't or you shouldn't or it's not for you. I would encourage you to try and change that inner voice into, look at what someone else sees in me. Now, if you're thinking, how do I do this? How is this possible? Talk to people. But it could start as simply as doing a pattern test and being prepared to share your photos of yourself in the pattern test, because that sewing company will then share your pictures. So that's a great start. Now, I feel very lucky that I've had this opportunity, and I'm not sat here trying to persuade you that you all need to have this opportunity, because I know that's not possible. What I am sat here saying is, life does not end once we hit middle age. Life does not end once we feel lost, because we can re-find ourselves, and re-finding yourself might be about choosing the things that make you feel better. So if I know for some people that's having their nails done regularly. For me, I'm such a miser, I find it hard to pay for that. For some people it's having their eyebrows done. For some people like me, it's letting only the one person cut my hair every 6 weeks. For you, it might be going to the gym, because that's what you need. I haven't been to the gym in years. Find something that helps you reconnect with you if you're feeling lost. So other things I've done is constantly keep working on reviewing and trialing colours and outfits, and keep moving myself through that journey. One thing I never ever do is listen to any advice that says at this age you should, or women in your 40s or women in your 50s you should not, or you should. They're the things that I get rid of and I don't listen to, because no one can tell me what I should or shouldn't do at any age. And please, whatever you do, if you're feeling lost or limited, start small. Start looking for something that you can do that feels more like you. And if you're in a survival mode right now, because that's what life's doing to you, then make notes for when it feels right. We can't be on point every day, but what I want you to walk away from having watched this vlog is that life is still out there at whatever age you are. Start asking, start looking, start offering to help someone with something. That might be you go to a social and you might be able to say to the person, would you like a hand? People find it hard to ask for help, but oh my goodness, when people have offered to help me, the joy it brings into my heart when I can say, yes, please, I'd really love some help. And it could be that way that helps you feel more connected to you. So this is the total of what I took with me. So beach bag as requested, 3 sets of sunglasses, and I'll open this and show you. So inside here I have some previous dresses of her patterns I've made that I modelled, 3 of those, some spare tops, ta-da, shoes, next kids shoes I bought second hand last year, some boots, tights, and a whole bag of jewellery and earrings, and more shoes, including my very beloved irregular choice shoes. So there we go, and of course 2 bags of makeup, which actually I didn't use a huge amount of, but I felt good having them. And I love this Trini London product, and some spare bits in there as well. So what do I feel now that I've done this experience? Well, first of all, my goodness, I'm tired. I was tired. It was changing multiple times, changing lipstick, jewellery, posing over and over again. It was surprisingly tiring. And the other 2 ladies said they could keep going for longer. I would have needed quite a big boost of caffeine to keep me going, and I'm not a coffee drinker, so probably needed a Barocco if I was going to keep going. And I did then have another 2-hour journey back home, and it was Friday coming up for half term, so I couldn't leave late. But Google Maps mostly did the work for me, but I had to be brave, and like I've said in the vlog, I parked in a Lidl to start with, car park, to just get my bearings, and I like to arrive early because then I'm not flustered. I also would do it again. I need a break in between because I think otherwise I'll be like, oh, this again. So I'm really amazed at models that do it all the time, because that must be hard not to feel like it's tedious. I would say it isn't glamorous. If anyone thinks it is, it isn't. But it was a wonderful experience in that I really loved meeting the other ladies. I really loved working with Sarah on her patterns. And also I tried on things again that I wouldn't have tried otherwise. So it kept pushing me in lots of ways. So yeah, I'm going to keep looking out and keep asking and keep seeing what else I can find. But life doesn't have to end when society thinks that we're done, because we're not done.